Hello, everyone, and welcome from dark Berlin. We're now having an interview for Tech.AD USA with Dave Tokic, VP Marketing and Strategic Partnerships for Algolux. Hello, Dave.
Hi, Anna. Nice to be here.
Nice to hear from you. We're having an interview regarding your presentation at our virtual event, Tech.AD USA. Your topic is about improving perception, robustness, a critical path to safer ADAS and autonomous vehicles. We're really looking forward to your presentation, and we're really looking forward to hearing from you on the 16th of November. So may I start with the questions?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
So my first question would be to get to know the company better. Could you tell us more about Algolux?
Absolutely. So once again, thank you very much for having Algolux present at Tech.AD this week. Algolux is an award-winning AI software company delivering the industry's most robust and scalable computer vision and image optimization technologies. Really, we're all about very robust and scalable perception. We were founded on really groundbreaking research at the intersection of deep learning and computer vision and computational imaging. And what we're addressing is really these mission critical issues of safety for primarily automotive ADAS and autonomous vehicles and robots, but also fleets and video security and so on. And we're headquartered in Montreal. With offices in Palo Alto and Munich. I'm out of our Palo Alto office and have about nearly 50 employees worldwide. Most of them are in R&D and in Montreal. And we're venture funded, with our largest investors being General Motors Ventures and Drive Capital. And actually, we're right now at the start of a Series B raise as well, and really excited by the take-up so far.
Nice to hear that. The next question from my side would be about the auto industry and the challenges. The industry has shifted from rushing to deliver full autonomy to focusing on more pragmatic near-term automation like L2 plus ADAS, L3 functions like highway autopilot and self-parking. Why do you think is that happening?
So there's definitely been an interesting shift in the industry over the last couple years or so. There had been a really strong investment and significant investment in full autonomy and trying to drive that to scale, but that's clearly been shown to be quite difficult. And so there's been more pragmatic responses to that, and shifting the focus really back down onto safety, onto ADAS, and increasing levels of automation for the automotive industry, and really that's put safety at the forefront. Now, the perception piece that Algolux focuses on is a critical enabler, right? There's really no way to do L2 plus or L3 ADAS without very accurate perception, but there still has been tremendous challenges in the systems out there. The AAA did a really good study about a year ago and then followed up with one a little earlier this year on just the failure rates of things such as automatic emergency braking, kind of the NCAP type tests, not only in harsh conditions like low light, but also in good conditions. And these late model cars that they tested failed. And so these challenges, in addition to some other things you've seen happen with Teslas and so on, really are where the state of the art is today. So there's definitely a big opportunity to improve that. We're excited to be part of that. There's also a scalability issue in the sense of how do you address the changing requirements, different sensors, different configurations, for example, cameras and other things like that. And today there's a very manual process for tuning cameras. There's a lot of supervised learning being used. You're quite locked into your sensors and processors. So there's some limitations to how quickly you can scale the new technology out into this space, and that's something that we're trying to address.
Okay, so would you say what is the role of Algolux and how the company tries to address the current issues right now?
Yeah, great. So as I mentioned, this providing very robust, accurate, scalable perception really is our DNA. Today, OEMs and tier ones are doing what they can to deliver these more and more capable systems. The Super Cruise from GM or Autopilot from Tesla and things like that to bring out higher levels of automation for improving safety, higher value to the vehicle, as well as improving comfort and convenience for the drivers. I'm kind of focusing a little bit more on the ADAS side of things, although we do have engagements on autonomous vehicles as well. But really, I think the bread and butter right now of the industry is focusing on these increasing ADAS functionality. And really it comes down to how do you make, or it really comes down to what we're doing is how to make the system more robust. So not only give good results in good driving conditions, such as bright blue skies and things of that nature, but do that accurately across all conditions, including low light and rain and snow and
Mhm.
fog and so on. And also how to provide scalability. And as I mentioned, scalability could mean changing out different camera configurations, improving the training process to make it more adaptive to the scenarios that that system might be used in, things of that nature. And we do that through two product lines. And one way of looking at it is we provide solutions that allow our automotive customers to impact and improve their current design, so the things that they're working on right now that are going towards production, and also provide solutions that enable the next generation of designs where there's even more opportunity to change things. And we do that through Atlas, which is our camera optimization suite and workflow. And as I mentioned, this can be applied to immediately improve vision performance, like even up to like 25 MAP points for object detection for the current programs customers are working on, and make it really scalable in the sense of getting that optimization result within days, as opposed to the current manual tuning process that may take many weeks or months. And then our EOS product is a full perception stack that's based on deep learning and enabled by a very advanced training approach that takes advantage of self-learning and unsupervised learning adaptive approaches that can deliver even more impressive results, sometimes even 3 times better than the baseline, 30, 40, 60 MAP points under really harsh conditions, for example. But we know this gets integrated into the system, and so we need a longer engagement with the customer to get that integrated, tested, and rolled out for downstream SOPs. So we are able to help customers today and help them for their next program. So hopefully that helps address the question.
Yeah, that's a very sustainable design, so to say. My next question would be, why do you think that computer vision is so critical in the automotive industry? And what are the, yeah, why do you think basically about it?
So computer vision has been part of automotive for quite some time, using more, I would call it classical or traditional techniques. And more recently, just the advances and breakthroughs in applying AI, such as deep learning and things like that, have taken the ability of these systems to deliver much, much better results. There are still limitations, as I mentioned earlier, especially in robustness. So that's why we think we're quite unique across all providers out there today to really tackle that very critical issue. But it is very important because one, more around camera-based computer vision is really one of the only accurate solutions for doing things like visual state detection, like, is it a red light, green light, things like that, as well as being able to more clearly identify object classes. Other sensing modalities can do that too, but computer vision with cameras is really the most accurate way to do that. The other thing is really around cost and easy to deploy. Cameras are really easy to kind of fit into a vehicle. They're low cost relative to other sensing modalities. And today already cars have 2 to 4 cameras installed, and there's a trend, I should say, going up to about 10 or so, or even more downstream. So it's really the number one sensor in volume today. Um, and while much can be done with cameras, I do want to make the point that other sensing modalities and fusion also have important roles. So while you can do quite a lot with cameras, we still believe that there's a multimodal world out there today, and moving forward. Not only about sensor fusion, but also things like stereo camera for really dense depth estimations and things like that. So it's a very exciting place to be. We see the need for more and more capabilities around computer vision growing dramatically to really enable these higher functionalities and more sophisticated functions for ADAS and autonomous vehicles.
It's great. There are many innovations being enabled by AI at a very rapid pace today, such as sensing and perception. What can automotive industry do to better leverage these advantages? What do you think?
Yeah, great. So absolutely, perception is one of those areas with computer vision really improving by leaps and bounds. But I'll call it traditional automotive, has had a well-established development process and approach to introducing new technologies, and new entrants, whether it's Tesla or new automakers in China and teams, are kind of breaking that mold and kind of are trying to rapidly accelerate innovation and introducing new technologies into the market. And this has really created a market for these more advanced features, whether they're for safety or for convenience. But clearly there have been missteps. There clearly have been issues in that path. So I think it kind of comes down to 3 key things. One is the current architectures and design methodologies. Those need to be revisited to achieve kind of the best results, but in a more streamlined way, right? Where these improved capabilities can get developed, integrated, and deployed more quickly. But we can't compromise safety, right? Safety, ultimately, it needs to be accurate. It needs to work under all the driving conditions, under the scenarios that these systems need. So that's one thing. The other is there are longstanding safety standards and regulations, but these need to be more quickly adapted to these new AI approaches, right? The innovation has happened so quickly in this space. These regulations and standards haven't really had time to catch up, and there's a lot of great work being done there, but the current approach takes quite a long time to get these groups together and roll out a way to ensure that the systems are meeting the requirements in an effective and safe way. So if there's some way to kind of continue to streamline, put more focus on getting those standards out, I think that's another thing that's really important. And the third thing really is innovation is coming from primarily new companies like startups and so on, and that's where there's a lot of nimbleness and ability to really create some breakthrough technologies. But while the more traditional companies, automotive companies, are trying to embrace that, the process is still quite painful. It's hard to kind of, there's almost like this impedance mismatch between the pace of innovation and how traditional companies try to fit that into a more multi-year SOP kind of process. And so kind of evolving these traditional philosophies to accommodate this more nimble, quick innovation and development, I think we still have a ways to go to resolve that. I mean, I think fortunately for Algolux, we've been doing pretty well kind of getting through this in our OEM and tier one engagements, and also based on our level of industry recognition. But it's, you know, it's a tough and long climb for a lot of startups. So, you know, and our focus on you know, robust and scalable perception and the unique capabilities really helps with that. It kind of sets us apart. Yeah, and also we're playing in a place that's really a fundamental pillar for really delivering that next level for ADAS and autonomous vehicles. So there's a lot of things going on that I'm really excited to be able to share about in the near future. But needless to say, I think hopefully this gives some color to, I think, some of the more broader industry themes that that can kind of help the industry move along more quickly.
Yeah, I think the interesting things are also yet to come.
Yeah.
So the last question would be a bit cheesy, so to say, from our side.
Okay.
You're located in Montreal, Canada, so it's pretty dark and cold the whole time. So does it give advantage to Algolux
Well,
in any way and sense? Is there any competitive advantage to that?
yeah, I know that's a fun question. So it's not dark and cold all the time. The summer is just beautiful there. Maybe for me being in California, it always feels dark and cold. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, actually, you know, we are in a pretty interesting spot there. I think there's a few advantages that it does give Algolux. One is, yes, we do have access to um, low light, snowy weather, rainy weather, and fog and things like that. So it's actually great from a testing perspective, right? Our test vehicles really can capture this broad range of conditions that we need to ensure and test our robustness against. And that actually keys into one of the challenges with these learned approaches for perception is that trying to address and avoid bias in your training data set, because it's very easy to create a training data set that's consisting of good weather, but having a good distribution across challenging scenarios, it's hard to capture that. And it's also hard to annotate that. So it's way more effort to annotate each frame in low light and fog and things like that than it is under good weather. So we do have, I would say, a pretty deep skill set and ready access to that nice distribution of weather there. But the other thing is that Montreal is really this interesting AI hub based on the companies that have moved in the area, the you know, the kind of big name brands, the academic environment there, McGill, University of Montreal, and others. Really a great pool of talented individuals to hire from. And it's a destination, right? So people actually do want to be in Montreal. So from a hiring and growth perspective, we're kind of in a nice little, I'll call it center of gravity for AI work there. So yeah, I definitely see that that's an advantage for us. And it's a nice centrally located place where we can engage with our European customers, as well as North America and spread out from there.
Yeah, it seems like it's a good mixture of everything a company needs to. So that was all from my side. Thank you very much
Right.
for taking your time. It was really interesting, and I'm pretty sure that our audience will also enjoy it. And looking forward to hearing from you in a couple of days at virtual event Tech.AD USA.
Great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to, and thank you very much, Anna.
Thank you.
Okay.